broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everyone, welcome to House of DVF, our AfterBuzz show. It's season 1, episode 2. It's called A Huge Mistake. And we're shaking it off because there's a lot of hate this episode. And the girls need to shake it off and realize they got to do some work, right?
Yes.
I'm your host, Kristina Zias, along with
Tiona Hobson,
Anastacia Waller,
and I'm Theresa Law.
All right, and this was an action-packed episode. I really enjoyed it. And the 8 girls, there's not that many of them. So you start to realize it in this episode since 2 are gone, we don't have that many.
Can I say something about the 2 that are
gone?
No. Yes, I'm going to.
Oh, you have a theory.
Because I told Theresa this a couple days ago. I was reading an Us Weekly magazine from November 3rd, and the advertisement that was in there only had 8 girls in it. Before the show even premiered, usually put the whole cast there. Oh. So there was 2 people already missing. Guess who they were? The first 2 people eliminated.
So do you think that they just cast them?
I kind of felt like those 2
drama.
were staged for drama at this point because they weren't in any of the promo stuff from 2 weeks before the episode was premiering, which I'm okay, maybe because they were the first ones off, but even America's Next Top Model keeps everyone up there.
Right, there's nothing on the
That's
either.
Yeah. And then
catch.
on everything for the e-blogs and stuff, it's the 8 girls in the program, and I'm okay, well, I guess technically you could say that they hadn't been accepted to the program yet, but they kind of had been. They were right there doing it. So.
Well, I feel like the program didn't start until this episode, technically.
Technically, yeah, they had their little feeler out, but I don't know. I just have a theory now that maybe those 2 were just staged in there.
Maybe.
Well, we're gonna have to.
We gotta get
find out.
We gotta bring a guest in the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll find out.
Coco, Rihanna, y'all want to come in, explain your side of the story? We're down for it. So,
okay, so let's get into some first impressions because there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of animosity between people in this episode, and last week, Kier didn't represent herself in the best way. Maybe a lot of people thought she came off a little bit bitchy. And she had this whole episode to redeem herself. And in my opinion, she didn't do the best job.
What was with that thank you card?
When she
misspelled
Stephanie's name.
Yeah, she misspelled Stephanie's name. And as soon as she pulled out, I wrote you just a little thank you card. I was why are you sucking up now?
Yeah. Why are you doing it publicly? You should just give that
because you want the other girls to see it. And it's if you're really a good person, other people don't need to see it. You don't need the self-validation from the rest of the group to be oh, man, I should have done that too.
And she put Amanda down, remember? Because Stephanie walked in and said the best person was Amanda. And then she goes, wait, did she get us confused?
Yeah.
She's I think she meant me.
And Gina says later, there's no way anyone can confuse you two.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So I don't think she did a great job at making me a believer in her this episode.
No.
If this was supposed to help redeem her, I still see her as the person from the first episode.
I do wonder how much of that drama is manufactured by the show.
Oh, yeah.
She's definitely playing into that role, and I want to find out what her real personality is off the show.
Yeah.
Well, she's based in Hollywood, so she might be coming in. So stay tuned. Okay, so in this episode, we meet Michael Hurst, right? And he's the artistic director for DVF. And right away, we find out that they have a challenge. And it's to create an inspiration board, which I was oh my gosh, my sorority girl self was really excited about that because I was arts and crafts scrapbooking, yes, and I mean, I blog and I style, so I do this all the time, but I was really excited about it. And the theme was Côte d'Azur. I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but it's the south of France. And
is that a city? I was so confused, guys.
It's the region.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
Antibes, it's Nice, it's Cannes. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Because they kept saying it, and I was the what? I needed subtitles up because I wasn't. That's how ignorant I was to that whole situation.
And now I feel bad saying this, but I was kind of these girls, like,
How could they not know?
How could they not know?
Well, because I feel like that is their world. And if you had just said the south of France, okay, instantly I know what you mean by that. But, you know, using your fancy wordings and stuff. But that's also their world. Like, they live, breathe, like, fashion. That's why they're there. I'm not that person. So, like, I wouldn't know that. You know, my stuff is a lot different than what theirs is and stuff. So,
Right.
Some of them really had no idea, though. Tiffany...
Lenore.
Yeah, Lenore, Tiffany. Okay, wait, how about when Lenore's shoe came off? When she found those Italian guys that she was to ask them advice?
Yes.
yeah.
Even though it was South of France, she was like, oh, here's some Italians.
She was
I'm
a
like,
little
okay.
unpolished this episode.
She was.
Surprisingly.
And I really liked her last episode.
I
like,
did too.
In
Me
this
too.
one, I'm like, how can you be a brand ambassador? Like, I couldn't envision her outside of Staten Island. And I feel bad saying that, but, I mean, she was not polished at all.
No.
But I do think they had a good idea, like, kind of talking to people on the street.
Yeah, it was going well until her shoe fell off.
But they did get some good points, like romantic, beautiful, like
Yes.
city by the sea, you know? Mm-hmm. So it could have gone better.
But did they deliver on their good advice that they got?
No,
Neither one of them.
neither one of them.
Yeah.
And then Tiffany's bored with her boyfriend when she got her boyfriend involved.
To spray
So
paint
it was
it.
Abigail, Brittany, and Tiffany, right? And they kind of went off on their own group. I mean, what'd you guys think about her calling on her boyfriend?
I mean, I would have been okay with it, but I just didn't see how it really fit in with anything she was going for. If she called her boyfriend and was like, okay, this is my whole plan, now I need you to give me something to,
Right.
like...
She should have given
visualize
more
it,
direction.
Yeah, I felt like she was like, hey, show up with a couple bottles of spray paint and let's see what you create. And that's what they
Totally.
got.
I kind of like what Brittany said, though, that DVF is about empowering women and that she shouldn't have called her boyfriend to help her do it. She should have, you know, had her own inspiration. And that's kind of how Diane is on her own, too. So
I
I
agree.
kind of thought, yeah, she didn't need to call her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I wonder what Diane would have thought.
Unless he had
if she
something
knew.
really, really cool. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
But
this is so
it was
unique.
just dirt and
Yeah.
some spray paint.
It did come out kind of cool at the
It
end.
did, yeah.
But we'll get into the inspiration boards a little bit later. So those three girls teamed up. Then we had Lenore and Cody. And then we had Kier, Gina, and Amanda. And they went to the spice market in
Yes.
Chelsea. And this was just very interesting because I guess they went there to get inspiration. But all you got was haterade from Kier.
Kier.
And to me, I actually think she could be a good brand ambassador because I think she is really knowledgeable about the fashion world. And I think she does understand, like, the DVF brand. But how could you be, like, so repulsed by a spice market where you have to demand to leave and have
she's
no
supposed to be
patience at
going
all?
all around the world.
Right.
She's going to be
Right.
meeting people of different cultures, trying different foods, and just mixing and mingling with
She
all
needs
these
to
people.
learn how to just go with the flow. I mean, that's
Yeah.
part of being a brand ambassador and traveling.
She couldn't even smell something. I mean, imagine if she went to a nice, prestigious dinner in, you know, some other country.
Right.
She couldn't
Yeah.
even handle the smell.
And it wasn't even like she was containing her thoughts inside. She, like, made it very clear
doesn't-
that she needed to leave immediately.
She doesn't ever edit herself.
No.
No.
Her
no
face
filter.
tells... Yeah, her face just
Hashtag
tells the
no
whole
filter.
story.
Which I think she thinks is her best asset.
Well, because
She's like her real self.
Yeah, she keeps saying that she's being real, and the other girls are like, "No, you're kind of like self-involved and like make it all about you." She's like, "I'm just being real." I'm like, sometimes you don't need to be that real.
Yeah, that's very true.
Sometimes it's
Sometimes
okay.
you need a filter.
Yeah, sometimes you need to filter, and especially as a brand ambassador, you're definitely gonna need to filter your true self sometimes because you could be super pissed off that like 5 million things aren't going your way, and then you still have to show up and like deliver for the brand. So
Right.
if you can't handle a spice market, how are you going to handle the world?
Yeah,
I did
absolutely.
love that Gina called her out on it.
Me too.
I loved Gina
That
this
was
episode.
Right,
Bold
Gina
and-
was growing on me
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Gina was awesome. She
I was
kept calling
surprised she
people out.
did that. I loved that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that from her.
Yeah, because she seems so quiet and kind of like laid back, I guess.
But not so much this episode. I
Yeah,
think we
this-
really get to know her personality.
Yeah.
I love when she said minions will now serve you, Princess Kier.
Yeah. But it still didn't face care anyway. So props to Gina.
I wish we heard a little bit more from Amanda because when they went to get like drinks or food after the spice market, Gina called Amanda out too and was like, I was really surprised when Stephanie said that she was most impressed by you last night or last week or whatever the time frame was. And Amanda was like, I know, I was kind of surprised too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that. I feel like
No.
you need to be more confident in yourself and be like, yeah, I did a great job. Like, I've done this, this, and that, and like that's why I was well prepared. And like, how can you let someone tell you like I think they confused me with you and like try and take the credit for it?
That's when my boxing gloves
Yeah.
would put on. I'd be like, all right, like, no, you can't knock me for my accomplishments.
Right. I wish Amanda was like, no, actually, like it was me. Thanks. I did
There
the
wasn't
best
much
job.
of a reaction from her.
No, not at all. And maybe, who knows, maybe that was editing too, but
And maybe it just shows that Amanda is level-headed enough to not stoop down to Kier's level, because Kier's also playing the game right now. She's getting into everyone's head.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's
doing a great job.
She's doing a great job at it, because she's getting into each girl's head and like making them question themselves and doubt themselves and making them look dumb in front of, you know, DVF and Stephanie and all those people. So
The one thing about Kier is like I really don't like her because I think she's a bitch, but she always delivers. That's it. So it's like I
Right.
can't really hate on her because it's just like she always comes through in every episode. Like she does work really hard. Like you said, she does know the brand really well. She does answer the questions really well, and she's put together. I think she could show a little more humility, obviously, and be more humble about it. But it's just like it's hard because it's like I don't like you, but I can't hate on you necessarily.
okay, so then let's get into this because this is exactly what happened in the lookbook
Yep.
shoot. So the girls, I don't think a lot of them know what a lookbook was, but they pretty much started out the scene by defining what it is. And they had the challenge for 2 teams to create different lookbooks on their own for the upcoming collection. So there was Cody, Lenore, Brittany, and Amanda, and then it was Kier, Tiffany, Abigail, and Gina. And then again with Kier and her group, like she was very specific about wanting to create a story, and everyone kind of like shut her down. And it was interesting because Stephanie said, you know, you can see like Kier was kind of like the person at the playground no one wanted to play with.
yeah.
And on the other team, the girls seemed to be working a little bit better together. But what killed me was Cody, because she was just like, whatever you think is beautiful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're really sweet, but I want to punch you in the face, because if this is a competition, like we have to work together, like you need to bring something to the table.
I would have been the Cody in that situation. I'd be
Really?
like, I mean,
But this wasn't for you.
yeah,
so,
like, because, you know, it was clear that, like, this isn't really Cody's right path. So, you know,
Yeah.
you're in that situation, you see everyone who, like, immediately has jumped in, and you feel like you're 5 years behind all of a sudden, and you're like, well, I don't want to mess it up for the team by
Right.
giving my opinion. What if it's the wrong thing to say?
But you're like, why are you even here? Why did you sign up
Right.
to
that,
do this?
Exactly.
that was my question, too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Wait,
I wouldn't sign up for this because I wouldn't be
Right.
ready for
Right.
it.
And she couldn't make a decision to save her life
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
on anything.
There's one thing that I want to go back on a little bit in the beginning of the lookbook because it killed me was Kier's bow.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
But listen, and I wish
Ridiculous.
I don't know how I can show you this, but I was looking at Kier's Instagram today, and she has this photo from. Oh gosh, Marissa, how do I get this so everyone can see it? Who's watching our show?
You should have emailed it in.
I know.
3
but I
hours
just-
prior to the show.
I just remembered. Okay,
You can go on our Instagram.
This isn't. Yes, I will tweet it. AfterBuzz will tweet it with our link.
Okay.
So I hope they will. So it's a DVF Resort 2010 collection, and on the runway, all the girls are wearing huge bows.
No way.
Yeah. So it's
Oh.
kind. I mean, I do think she looked ridiculous, and I'm glad Stephanie called her out on it. But it's
They're like
kind
bow
of funny.
hats.
Yeah.
They're like bow
But-
hats.
Was that intentional then?
Well,
I
Or
don't know.
was it inspired by her wearing the bow?
Maybe.
I also think that the bows on
That's
that
actually really
makes
cute.
a lot more sense than
Yeah.
a bow like that walking around for
like
like
a gold.
like
Yeah.
she wasn't
Right, like, that's the
she
runway.
She wasn't like on the runway or lounging at a resort, you know, like the collection
Yeah.
implies that you would be
She was at
doing in this.
work.
She was just at work.
And that's
At like an internship type of work right now. Like, you don't need to stand out that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed. And also, she's like clearly way taller than all the other girls too.
so just like
Yeah.
it's like 5 inches taller.
Totally.
So all the
Totally.
attention
It
is
wasn't-
directed at her.
It was just
Yeah.
a little extra. I liked it better when she pulled it back into the.
Well,
like,
did you
head-
see
Yeah.
when Gina tried to help
Yeah, I was
her?
like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like,
like
oh.
okay.
But I like that she did because she kind of like stood up to Stephanie.
Oh,
Oh my
look at
gosh,
that.
you
Yay.
are amazing.
Oh. Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you, Marissa. These are the bows that we are talking about. Marissa, you're amazing. So anyways, I'm glad that she did listen to Stephanie, even though she kind of like stood up to her a little bit and
Yeah.
gave her reasoning, but then she was quick to change it.
Oh, she was super quick to change
But
it.
I think that, I mean, that's respectful. Like, at least she stood up for herself and explained why.
And wasn't trying to be
And, like,
defiant.
right.
Keep it on, yeah.
So,
Well, I liked Stephanie's quote that she said, anything that calls attention to one thing is not effortless. Because that's the
Totally.
whole point of the jersey and the wrap dress is that effortless, chic, sexy style. So, have to remember that one.
girls gotta get it.
Simplicity.
So, what do you guys think about Lenore and her styling one of the looks for the lookbook? And she was trying to use a dress as a jacket, which clearly did not go over too well.
I think that really offended DVF. It was intended to be a dress and not a jacket, and you could kind of see how upset she was when she saw that. And also, Michael wasn't impressed either. And I feel like that kind of set the tone for the rest of the show or the rest of the challenge. DVF was very much on Lenore this whole episode and really just gave her a tough time.
Probably she was like, girl, you try to make my dress into
Yeah.
a jacket.
Yeah. And they kept saying, but it's not. But
Yeah.
it's not.
But I don't know. I feel like Lenore's like looking at this as like, hey, what's my statement that's gonna help me stand out? And you watch a lot of designers and like Rachel Zoe project where they're taking other clothing items and like making them work for something. And I think that she's thinking in that mind frame of like, I want to do something that's a statement, but it's just a little too early in the game and like there's not that trust that you're not going to cross the line with DVF. So she's
Right.
like, whoa, what are you doing with, like, those are her babies, her
Yeah.
clothing, those are her children.
And
so
maybe
it's
that
like,
works
whoa.
for one brand, but not necessarily DVF.
Yes.
So if she were to do that somewhere else, maybe they'd be like, oh, yeah, we love that.
Yeah, like, oh, you're being creative, like,
yeah.
other people,
Right.
other uses for the dress and that kind of
I
stuff.
think the dress is so iconic that you just can't mess with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was.
agree.
I think it also was just like the time and place because I don't think she clearly understands what a lookbook is. It's meant to sell the clothing.
Right.
And I think if you can't clearly see the clothing, you can't really sell it. So I think that
And who's going to buy, seriously, a dress as a jacket?
jacket. Exactly.
Not
Like
many
it might have
people.
looked really good like in a print campaign or on the
Right.
runway, but like
Yeah.
that's not
Like
what
layering
this
or
is.
something. But yeah,
Totally.
you're not going to go in the jacket, see all these coats, and then a dress like open
Right.
up.
Well, I mean, anyways, it didn't really matter because at least that team won.
Yeah.
And they won because they had this story, and it was this girl who is a travel writer, and it's kind of like her attire to different events, correct?
Correct.
yeah.
And the reason they won is because Diane loved the story and thought that's what you really need when you're creating a lookbook. And it was just so funny because Kier, the entire time with her group, was like, we need to create a story. And
Sometimes
Let's
it's-
hear it, Tiona.
Sometimes it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it.
Exactly.
Like, she
you have to
was-
inspire
Yeah, you have
your
to
team.
inspire. And she wasn't really saying directly, let's create a story. She kept saying, we need to pick a place. We need to pick a location. And I don't think the girls were understanding that she meant, like, let's stop and decide, like, on a storyline, a place. Like, okay, Paris. Okay, now we have a location. Let's move on from there. So it's not that she was wrong in what she was saying, because I was agreeing with her. I was like, well, I mean, even I know that. Fashion 101.
Yeah.
Like, tell a story with this stuff, because as a buyer, like, what am I buying here?
Right.
But it was just the way she was delivering it. It was just so, like, orders being barked, and everyone already has a nasty taste in their mouth about you. So now they're really not going to listen to you when you start barking orders like that.
And they were kind of ignoring her, too. I did feel a little bit bad for Kier. I think they were just kind of at their level. But that's what I was saying. Even when Stephanie had asked, do you guys know what a lookbook is? Kier had one of the best answers of what the lookbook was. So she really does know her stuff. It's just, I think she has to understand the relationship parts now, because that's going to help them work. They still have to work together in teams and a lot of their stuff going forward. So.
Right. I think she just needs to learn how to speak clearly and not rub people the wrong way and get their trust back again for them to look at her as a leader.
Yeah, she needs to learn how to have a conversation with someone and not bark orders at them.
Yeah. I think she just comes off like she's ready to argue. Like, obviously, her and Abigail got into a little bit of a fight. And although I will, they got into an argument for sure. And I will say, Kier, I mean, the way she flip-flopped with her emotions, because one day at one moment she seemed like she was attacking them, being like, this was my idea. If we did it, we would have won. And the next time she was like, I'm so proud of us.
Weird.
So I don't know if it was maybe editing or if she just really was like, okay, maybe I would just sound like a big bitch. Like, let me just be like, try and get, the spirit up. But Abigail, I think, came in like flying too high and did not handle herself well at all. And I'm surprised she wasn't reprimanded. Like, I really like Stephanie, and I think she was so sweet to her. And I love that she kind of plays like that Devil Wears Prada, like tough love. But, like, she really cares and is a really sweet person. But I kind of wish it was like, what are you doing? Like, screaming and starting and, like, throwing your hands up in the air. Like, this is work. I don't think that was appropriate at all.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I've kind of noticed with these girls is, like, I feel like they do a lot of tattling on each other in front, or show a lot of their emotions in front of the team, which is so weird to me. Like, even when when Kier called them out and said, oh, well, that was my idea, or, oh, I wrote, like, it just feels, like, very immature.
Yeah, because, I mean, Kier, when she threw them under the bus, that's where it all started.
Or even Brittany in the first episode, like, what are you guys doing calling each other out?
Just keep it to yourselves. Don't let your, like, private lives get in the middle of this.
Yeah, they're running
DVF.
They don't, I mean,
they
this is, like,
time
a
for
small
your trivial
part
stuff.
of the
But I understand, and I think this is where Kier is playing the game just right, because she did exactly what she needed to do to get Abigail riled up and make her look bad in front of everyone.
So do you think it was intentional for her to do that?
Why are you picking a fight here? Even when they talked at the pool later, it was kind of like picking another fight.
Right.
Like, she knows what she's doing, and I guess that's the part that, like, I love and hate about her, because, like, I clearly see that you're playing the game and that everyone's letting her play it, and I'm just like, who's gonna step up and I wanted Abigail to be such the bigger person and not actually go there, because I love Abigail. I think she's awesome, but she kind of like let Kier get in her head and let her control the situation. So now she has to make up for it somehow. I don't know.
What'd you guys think about their talk at the pool? So, I mean, obviously, the team that won got to do the lookbook shoot, and then the rest of the girls kind of had the day off, or so I guess they thought. But Kier and Abigail at the pool, it was like a really awkward situation for me, and I can't believe that. I mean, like, obviously they need to communicate about what was wrong, but the way Kier spoke to Abigail, being like, you wanted me to invite you to sit here. I was kind of like, oh my God, like, this girl has huge balls. Like, I could never. And part of me likes that about her, and part of me wishes, like, I had a little bit more of that in me. Like,
right.
And then the other part's like, oh my gosh, I hate you at the same time.
I know. I wonder what she's thinking when she's watching herself back.
She probably loves it.
I do like that she calls it out when she sees it, because that's how you should communicate, but I think she does it in such an abrasive way that it turns people off. So I think as long as she eventually learns how to edit herself appropriately, then she can be a more viable contestant.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Tiffany and Gina's little brunch rendezvous?
I'm always down for some brunch. One thing I noticed was when she was yelling at those guys who were like from Australia. Did you guys see the PA that then ran out was like, wait, stop?
Oh,
and
they needed to get
them released because they showed their face.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Sorry, I work in production, so this is like my job is to look for these little things in our shows. So I was like, I'm watching, I'm like, oh wait, rewind. Yep, there goes the PA like waving releases at them as they're running down the street.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the dog though? Gina had a little dog that ran out of the fence. I was like, where did the dog come from?
I think it's so weird that they get to have so much of their personal stuff on this because they have their cell phones, boyfriends are coming over, like dogs are there, they each have their own room, right? Because I'm like, this is just so much freedom,
right?
I keep thinking that too, and I feel like they get to do whatever they want. Like, it doesn't seem like there's really like a set schedule. Like they probably have to be at the studio at this time, you know?
Yeah.
But in between, it seems like they can do whatever.
Right.
Which is why I was so surprised that no one had their lookbooks done.
Right.
Or their inspiration boards
I expected more out of those boards, but when I saw them, I was really disappointed.
Yeah, I was disappointed because I'm like, okay, Gina and Tiffany both know that they don't have theirs done, and they're over at brunching. You have the day off. You should have been
making sure that's
done because you were complaining this whole time. We don't have any time to get these done. Here you are with a day off, and if I had lost a competition for like the lookbook thing, I would have
Right.
made sure that the next thing that they expected from me was
Was
going to
amazing.
be amazing.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
if I have a day off and free time, I'm spending all day working on that. I'm not laying out by the pool. I'm not brunching.
Right.
I'm not doing any of that other stuff. I'm getting my shit handled.
Right, for sure.
Well, it's funny because they're drinking and then they have to go in. And so Gina's board was seen first, and she said it's inspired by Euroglam. And Michael's like, this honestly just inspires me to get drunk. And I'm like, that's funny because like she's probably a little drunk right now too.
She was 3 mimosas in. And then do you guys remember the part when Lenore went into Kier's room and she did her
right.
little testimonial and she was like, I love Kier, like I love you so much. That whole little
And
when she
Kier
said-
that when you're friends with me, I pay more attention to what you say
and give better
Yeah,
advice.
and give better advice.
She also said, I love Lenore, so sweet, but she's not going to be a brand ambassador.
Okay,
But kind of true.
Kind of true,
That's
but also
true.
like you're sitting here saying like, oh yeah, she's my friend. We're going to get along.
No, I
but
did-
basically I'm friends with her because she's not competition.
Yeah.
I did go
yeah.
on Kier's Twitter and she said that was editing. Because they
Oh,
had the
okay.
quote and she said that was editing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like, I never said that about Lenore.
They're really making her out to be a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are doing
Yeah.
a great
that-
job at it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Good find. I need to go back and look for that. That's funny. But I thought it was nice. It was nice to see her have a friend.
Yeah.
And Lenore, like, as much as I think she's a hot mess, like, you could tell she really does mean well. Like, and she,
Yeah.
like Kier said, she does really want to be there and is trying as hard as she can.
She just doesn't know. She's passionate and she wants it, but she just doesn't know.
The execution isn't really there,
Yeah.
but the passion, she's got a lot of heart.
So for her inspiration board, she starts DVF asks her why, like, what does she want to do? And she talks about
Oh
styling.
my gosh.
She was in the hot seat.
She was really in the hot seat, and it was just so interesting to see, like, DVF, like, call her out. And it's interesting. It is not what you say. It's how you say it. Because if someone else said you have no style, they'd come off like a bitch, too. And DVF was just, like, calling it as it is. Like,
Well, she said, DVF said, that she's like, you think the best thing you have to offer is your taste?
it was
I was like,
amazing.
oh my God.
Ouch.
Yeah.
If someone had said that to me, I would have cried
Right.
Yeah.
on the spot, especially if that's what I'm want to do.
And she thinks she can dress. That's
Yeah.
the thing. She doesn't think she has a problem.
Yeah.
She did look
issue.
like she was going to cry.
Yeah, I mean, I would have, like, you have one of the most powerful people in the industry telling you think that's the best thing you have to offer?
AKA,
You're
like,
wrong.
You have no
Yeah.
taste, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Like, ouch.
Yeah.
And you can't really defend yourself because it's you versus DVF.
Yeah.
She's choosing you. So
She
you're
did
just
a
like,
little
win.
bit, but it fell flat.
It fell
Yeah.
flat, totally. Well,
Yeah.
that was a tough one.
And she got called out for her lipstick, too.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Lenore.
She said it was too dark.
But whatever, like, the girl needs to learn.
Is
So
that Staten Island? Because you live close to there. Is that the thing?
What?
Like really heavy makeup or like loud, like the choker?
I
Is
don't
that-
know.
Oh, you don't know?
New Jersey is very different.
Okay.
Thank you very much. No, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's just a Lenore thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that lipstick shade is in
It
season
is
now.
in, totally.
Yeah.
She was just ahead of the trend then.
Well, I think it was her outfit. I think that's what DVF was saying, that whatever she was wearing, it was too heavy for whatever her
Yeah.
outfit was.
Or for her face, maybe, too.
Yeah.
Like, you're at a business meeting. Like, why do you need to wear dark fancy lipstick?
Right.
That's
That's more
true.
for an evening look.
Exactly. So I think that's what she is trying to say. So, okay, back to the boards. We have Abigail. Her board was more about sketches. DVF did not seem impressed at all.
They didn't
Or
ask her to
Michael.
draw any
Yeah,
sketches.
and yeah, they pretty
design
much,
any clothing.
They pretty much made it very clear that we have no interest in you
Yeah.
designing.
I think it was her little plug.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, here, guys, here's a sneak peek at my future
The
line.
new wrap dress.
Yeah, totally. Amanda's board was all about color and texture. Kier's was all photos of herself, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I will say, like, DVF1 liked it. The girls made a lot of fun of her. It wasn't all photos. Like, she had a couple on there. But in all fairness, DVF showed photos of herself from when she was younger and to use, like,
that's
to
a
give
good
them
point.
inspiration. So,
That's true.
I mean,
I think I liked hers the best.
Best.
Yeah.
yeah, I
was
liked
a really
hers a
good
lot.
board.
Tiffany.
Oh, poor Tiffany.
Guys,
Do
You hate on my. I love Tiffany.
No,
now.
and DVF likes Tiffany.
And
She
too.
loves
Did you
her.
see when
Because
she
great
pinched
minds
her
think
cheek?
alike.
I know. I was just thinking
Yeah.
that too. She really likes
She
her.
loves Tiffany.
She thinks she's like a little kid. Like I feel like she looks at her as like a daughter figure.
I do agree with what they said though, because if I had been her and walking with a board that's not complete, I'm gonna fake it till I make it.
And what about Brittany tried to help her?
That was
Yeah,
really
Brittany
sweet.
did come over, which she redeemed herself because I thought she was kind of bitchy last week.
Yeah.
And she
You know.
gave the same advice that pretty much they gave to Tiffany as
Yeah.
well. So
She was like, "Hey, just go in with that. Like,
And
make it work."
Yes, and the other thing is DVF gave Tiffany a second chance because when they first presented, remember she said, you just need to have more confidence and you shouldn't have said that. And then, so she let her redo her whole spiel.
and it was so good.
Yeah.
She said it was like you're looking at the sea from above, right? And it's like the colors and movement. I'm like, genius. Like
See?
the girl is smarter than we think.
Smarter
I don't
than
know.
She has
you
a diamond
think.
in
Smarter
Tiana
than-
knows.
Excuse me.
Tiana knows.
So we don't know how the season's gonna work, right? I didn't know if a girl was gonna get eliminated tonight or not.
Right. I don't think we really have the formula down yet.
No, I don't think they even know what the formula was when they were making this. But so DVF calls Abigail, Cody. Oh, and Cody
All
was pretty much
photos.
all photos that she took
Of dogs.
Of like, yeah, I was like of a bulldog. yeah.
Dog.
She missed the mark completely on
Completely.
that.
How was that?
She missed the mark on
self-affirming?
everything.
Nothing that invoked the French Riviera.
No.
It was just like photos of her dog, like you said, and like a farm. And
Flower.
they were great photos, but nothing
we
related
saw
to
that
this
she
task.
was like really homesick and Skyping
Oh
with her
my
mom.
gosh.
that was a defining moment for me when I started talking to her mom.
You're like, girl needs to go home.
Even her mom told her to woman up.
Yeah,
her
her
mom
mom-
was like, Cody, they're
Why are
telling
you
you to
cry a lot?
Yeah.
Why
like,
are
Cody,
you
you're
so
so
sensitive?
She was like, I'm sad because they're sad.
I was like, oh, I feel for you, but like maybe not that much.
I know.
I mean,
Oh,
I know that I can cry when I'm like passionate about things, but I don't cry that much.
I think she's just so idealistic
Yeah.
and maybe has been a little bit sheltered in her life.
Totally
and
sheltered.
Needs to branch out and really see what the world is about.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, she keeps saying like this is her first time leaving Utah, right?
Right.
So, yikes. Girl needs to get out. So she calls up Abigail, Cody, and Tiffany, and then comes down and switches Tiffany for Lenore. She's like, I made a huge mistake. If I were Lenore, I would have like peed my pants, like, or cried, or like just ran home right then. That stinks. I feel like that's such a scary feeling going into there. Like that someone had to think about it, and we're like, no, she's not the right person
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, pretty much she reiterates herself saying, like, styling should not be your thing. And I hope that Lenore really listens to Diane and thinks about it, because I think she could be a really great businesswoman. And she did encourage her and said, you are really people friendly and like everyone likes you. So I hope she focuses more on that aspect of herself.
Or do you think she could just study more? How do you become a better stylist? Can maybe just study more trends in California and New York? And I don't really know
But I do think like taste is something that just comes
naturally. So she just doesn't have it.
Yeah. I mean,
She can develop it.
she can develop it, obviously, but
And she's young enough to develop it, I think. But I think that when someone like DVF kind of crushes your dream like that, at least she didn't completely kill her dream. She said, this one isn't right for you, but over here is something else that fits you better.
Right.
So she's not just saying, oh no, don't do this, leave the whole like industry. She's saying, not this aspect of it.
Right.
Focus more over here. And if DVF can see that and point it out to you when you're that young, she just saved you years and years of like trying and struggling.
And I also think that Lenore just needs to learn a little bit more about the industry, because I think that she just thinks of fashion as styling. But it's a like multi-billion-dollar industry. There's so much that goes on behind it. It's just not just putting like clothes and outfits together.
She's capable of so much more than
For
styling.
sure.
And I think DVF was implying that there's more to you than just this small
Definitely.
facet.
And then what did she say for Abigail? She pretty much thinks that Abigail is out of control, right? Like needs to tame it down a notch. Here's my thing with Abigail, right? I like her. I think I'm like kind of like over her sob story.
Yeah,
when
she
she-
brings
You
it
know
up
what I
all
mean?
the time.
With how this is her only shot with her
Yeah,
brother.
it's not your only shot. If you believe in yourself, you can do a million different things. And like I respect that she's there for her family, but like you need to like be in this for yourself, otherwise you're not gonna succeed.
Absolutely.
And don't use that story as a clutch.
Right.
Right.
Everyone has
like,
their
what-
own baggage that they're coming in with.
Yeah. Do you
they're
think
learning
she
to deal
says
with it.
that to like, I don't know, to make everyone else feel bad for her so she stays, or why do you think?
Part of me thinks that, you know, again, with like the editing of everything, if a producer hears that like that's kind of your story, they're gonna make you
Play it
repeat it. So part of me thinks that that's a little bit to do with it. But then outside of that, I'm the kind of person where like I don't like sharing that kind of stuff about me.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to look at others who are doing it. Like I have no shade on it, and that's what you're gonna do. But I don't know. I'm just like, I'm kind of like, okay, like we heard it the first time, we heard it the second time. We don't need to keep hearing it
Right.
now because we know what you're there for. What are the other girls there for? Because I'm sure
What's
they're
Amanda
all
there for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
don't-
Like I still haven't like I still have a
still
hard
don't
time
know much
remembering
about it.
Amanda.
Yeah.
I still like I watched the episode twice and I still was like, okay, they said they liked her from the first event.
But what?
But like what was she doing there? And then I'm like, but then what else is happening with her? There's just so much drama going on with other people that I
Part
keep
of
forgetting.
me thinks that Amanda's very normal and she doesn't have as much drama as these other girls that take up so much of the show.
Totally.
And I think they're going to edit that out and showcase the people that are going to, you know, get the views and get people
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
So that could be.
Amanda also
reason.
had a lot of internships. She had 5 other internships, so she probably has the most professional experience and knows how to carry herself well. So maybe she's not, like Theresa said, creating as much drama.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's get into our predictions for top 3 because we know that Cody went home, which we all know needed to happen.
Yeah. She started crying even before DVF started
Yeah,
talking to
and
her.
she's kind of like, why are you crying? Okay, so
Cries in every scene.
last week we made some predictions about who we think our top final 3 will be. Not necessarily who we want to be in the top final 3, but who we think will be there. And I feel like a lot of us need to adjust our predictions.
Yes,
So
I
please,
do for sure.
Tiffany. I think Tiffany.
Oh, now y'all jumping on the
Listen.
Tiffany bandwagon, huh?
I think Tiffany because I honestly think that DVF just really likes her and will keep her there until the end. And I think that slowly she will grow. I think Kier still. And I think Brittany.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Tiffany.
Is that what I want? I guess
Is that
I'll
what
stick
you
with
originally
that.
wanted?
I made a huge
I
mistake.
really like
made a
Gina
huge
too. And I
mistake.
kind of feel like Gina wins.
Ooh, I could see that.
I was like stalking her Instagram today too, and I feel like she's doing a lot of traveling. So I don't know if it's for the
Her
predictions
Instagram's
or maybe
amazing.
she's just traveling.
I love her
don't know.
photography.
Yeah, it's really great.
Tiffany,
All right, TT.
Tiffany, I'm a little concerned about because next week we see that they have to meet the press, and I just can't see her really presenting herself well and being able to interact with them.
But I mean, they make people go through media training. So, you know.
Hopefully they go through some media
Yeah,
training.
hopefully. I mean, I think they all could use some media training.
Definitely.
I don't know. I can't remember. I think I had Tiffany, Kier, and Abigail last week. Mm-hmm. And my alternate is Brittany
Okay.
for Abigail.
Okay.
So Tiffany, Kier, and Brittany.
Except pretty much
Brittany
exactly what I
or
just said.
Brittany or Abigail. Yeah, but I had it written down before you said it. And I still want it to be Abigail, but I just feel like the drama between her and Kier can't last the whole season.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
one of them has to go eventually because no one's going to get any work done.
Okay, I'm going with Kier at the top 3, Amanda, and Brittany.
That's a good selection.
That's strong. I'm going with Gina. I think she's got a lot of potential, and I was also stalking her Instagram, and I think she can write really well, and she's got great taste. I chose Brittany as well. I think this episode she really proved herself. I mean, she reached out to Abigail when Abigail was going through her issue, and then she reached out to Tiffany when she was struggling with the project. And last would be Amanda. I know we still haven't seen a lot from her, but every time we do see her, I feel like she presents herself well. She should have spoken up when Kier called her out, but I still have faith in her.
So is she presenting herself well, or is she just not presenting herself at all? Because I feel like we don't really see anything of her. She's
Yeah,
just, like,
I don't know if
nice.
that's editing
Yeah.
or if it's her. So
keep
I'm
forg-
still gonna give her a chance.
I keep forgetting she's there right
I
now.
know.
Amanda.
Me too.
Like, I literally can't tell you what her board looked like last night or what she did at the first episode.
Same.
Like
She did PR at the first episode, I
like,
remember that.
only remember her because at the beginning they said she impressed them, and that's the only thing I remember about her doing in this episode.
Right.
Well,
I think we'll see more from her.
I guess
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see.
I think she's
Yeah.
a sleeper.
She is.
She's gonna
I
come
think
to
so,
life.
too.
She's gonna be she's the quiet one who's like no one's paying attention
Yeah.
to her because there's so many other
It's like,
things,
bam,
and she'll
top
like
3.
yeah,
Yeah,
boom.
exactly.
Next thing you know, she's the ambassador.
Yeah.
Well, let us know who your top 3 are. And please go to iTunes, rate us, and comment below. And I hope you guys like the show as much as we do.
Oh, wait, I have a few edits, or a few things I wanted to debunk really
Go,
quick
go, go.
before. Okay. The first one is Lenore said, I never wanted to use that dress as a jacket. House of DVF, love the edit action. So debunking that one. I told you guys about the other tweet, and this other one says, I've never been out of Utah before. This is news to me. Haha. And Cody tweeted a picture of her in Russia.
Oh my gosh, so she did get out of Utah.
Wow.
Didn't she say herself that she had never been out of Utah?
Producers will make you do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Guys,
Sorry,
this is some serious editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I expect more from the DVF crew.
It's
But-
not them, it's the production company.
Well, I don't expect more from them. So, all right, guys, where can they find you?
Oh, I have one more piece of news.
Go, go, go.
Okay, so every time a contestant gets kicked off, they have to do a departure blog.
Okay.
So Cody wrote hers, and she said, would I have done anything differently? Definitely not. There are many times when I could have brought others down to try and make myself look better, but this is not me, nor is it the example I would want to set. But the last thing that she wrote was really cryptic, and I want to find out what this means. She says, Diane, I'd also like to thank you for helping me gain the courage I didn't know I was lacking to stand up for myself in an unhealthy marriage. Thanks to you, I am now forging my own path and loving every moment of it.
Wait, can you repeat that?
I just got chills.
I
What does
just
that
got chills,
imply?
too.
Does
So,
That's why she
Because I
was
stopped
crying
reading
so
the
much.
blog after the first paragraph. I didn't finish it.
Yeah, this was the very last paragraph.
Too much reading for me.
both of you on your news and gossip, I'm obsessed with this information right now. Thank you. So pretty much she's saying that she was in an awful marriage and that Diane helped her realize that and helped gave her the courage to get out of it.
And forging a new path. That's so ambiguous. I don't know if that means she...
She could have just stood up for herself and be like, look, homie, I'm going to go out there and pursue photography, and I'm going to make this my job. She could
Maybe
have left
that was
him.
her
She
way
could have-
out. Yeah, to see a
Yeah.
different lifestyle and be in New York or something.
Yeah,
my
she
God,
could have
she left him.
up and moved out of Utah.
That's interesting.
Could mean so many things.
We'll have to
Yeah.
find out.
If y'all know some more information, please let us know.
That's
crazy.
I know some Mormons in Utah. I'll make some calls.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get back to you on that. All right, you guys. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias and at MissZias.com.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Stay Classy Anna, 2 N's.
I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Theresa Jane. And I also wanted to do a shout out to Glam Squad who did Tiona
yes.
and my hair and makeup tonight.
Hair and makeup,
Thank you guys.
Glam Squad, LA. Download the app.
Yes.
And for all you DVF fans, there's the DVF store opening up at the Grove pretty soon, so check it out.
Ooh.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.